In this lesson, we'll be describing how to solve a matrix multiplication problem. This is in continuation of the intro to matrix multiplication video. So here's what we have to do matrix multiplication. Let's say we have to find matrix AB. Now remember, to do matrix multiplication, it's known as a row by column multiplication. So essentially, if you're doing matrix AB, each entries in A's row gets multiplied by each entries in B's column. Conversely, if you're finding BA, each entries in B's row gets multiplied by each entries in A's column. Remember, they're not commutative, so AB is not equivalent to BA. That was covered in the previous intro to matrix multiplication video. Now we have the following two matrices. Now in order to do the row by column multiplication, we look at the first row of matrix A, and we'll just simply circle that. And we're going to circle the first column of matrix B, which has 5 and -4. Now what we have to do is we have to multiply 3 by 5 and -1 by -4, and we're just going to denote that by using arrows. Now we're going to circle the second column of matrix B, and we also have to multiply this column by the first row of matrix A, and we're just going to denote that by arrows. Now before we move on, please make sure to try to understand this conceptual tip. Now there's 2 entries per row in matrix A because there's 2 columns. Here's what I mean. If we take a look at the first row of matrix A, there's 2 entries, 3 and -1. Now if you think about it, there's only 2 entries because there's 2 columns. If there was 3 entries per row, then that means that there'd be 3 columns in matrix A. Now similarly, there's 2 entries per column in matrix B because there's 2 rows. Same idea goes for this one as well. There's 2 entries per column if you look at the first column because there's 2 rows. If there was 3 rows, there'd be 3 entries. And this is why we need to make sure that the number of columns in the first matrix is equivalent to the number of rows in the second matrix. See, now it all comes along together. This was the assumption that we made in the introduction to matrices, and here's a little proof as to why we have to make sure this is true. Now let's actually go on to solve matrix AB. Now this looks a little bit daunting, but don't worry because this is just the unsimplified version. But essentially what we're doing here is we're doing the row by column multiplication. So in the first entry, we're doing 3 times 5 plus -1 times -4, which is denoted by the yellow arrows. And the second entry is 3 times -2 plus -1 times 3. Remember that you're finding the sum of those 2 products. And you just complete that process for the other values, and we simplify it, and we get our new matrix AB. I hope this video helped. Comment down below any other math topics you want me to review. Thank you.